Today's guest is graduate civil engineer, expert in everything made out of concrete. He came all the way from Glasgow, Scotland, to make this episode. It's the first episode in the new podcast studio. He also happens to be my lifelong closest friend. So I hope you enjoy Mr. Valeriy Willetts. So man, welcome to the show. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
It is a huge honor to do the first episode in the new studio with my best friend.
It is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. I really love what you've done. It's very professional.
Still a bit of a work in progress. We'll figure out the middle camera lighting. I think I'm a little bit too white with it. We'll have some little fun background over here. Some of these plants are dying. I need to buy fake ones. What am I doing with real plants in a studio?
I mean, yeah, it is a very, very dark room. And what is it? One of the key things that plants need to survive. Light, water, and good vibes.
I take a lot of inspiration from this podcast. So I like Joe Rogan. I like Chris Williamson. There's another one that you may have heard of. It's called A Diary of a CEO.
Yeah.
So what's the host's name?
Steve Bartlett.
Yeah. So he talks a lot about how he really works on everything being like 10, 15% better week to week, which makes like overall the podcast better. And one of the things he talked about is the amount of CO2 to oxygen ratio in a room. Apparently, if there is too little oxygen, too much CO2, you become like after a bit of beer. So I was like, let me learn from the best and put some plants that produce oxygen. So all of these plants, I don't know how good they will do at with lighting, but they should produce lots of oxygen here. Mm-hmm. Then we'll feel like we're on steroids.
Nice. I like that. Like, isn't like the air that we breathe is like 13% oxygen? So, and like most of it's nitrogen.
Nitrogen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then some of it is CO2 as well.
And like pure oxygen will kill you or just... Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, there is actually there's this guy who runs like a biohacking channel. He doesn't have a medical license because he would never get one, and he talks how if you take pure oxygen in a can and you inhale it, it improves like your workout performance and all the other stuff, and it works on me. So I bought his oxygen in a can. I felt so stupid. When I paid £15 for fucking air in a can, which after I inhaled, did fuck all.
Yeah, I mean, like, also, do you remember like the epidemic of Belle Delphine selling her like farts in a jar, or was it like bath water?
It was bath water.
Oh god.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
God.
But to be honest, if I was in a position where I could monetize anything, that's pretty jokes.
Why not?
Yeah.
No, that's hilarious. But
Sydney Sweeney launched something that people were mad at her.
Sydney Sweeney has good genes.
Yeah,
great genes. Is there something new?
That made the world unhappy. I think it was also bathwater that Sydney Sweeney was selling.
Oh, I've heard of that. Jeez, what's the world coming to? Like, you know, men used to go out and fight in wars and bring peace to the world. Nowadays, we look at spreadsheets and buy Sydney Sweeney's bathwater. where are we? Where are we come? I was actually going to say, like, speaking of spreadsheets, I made this theory that since the wheel, Excel spreadsheets are the most important invention since the wheel, pretty much.
Ooh,
what do you think?
Interesting.
Do you use spreadsheets a lot? Are you a freak between the spreadsheets?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I really like my Excel. I also like since moving to London, I've made everybody in the company switch to Google Sheets rather than Excel.
It's because it's free. You don't need a license.
To be honest, yes, I like the fact that I don't need to pay £60 a year for it or whatever it is. But also, you can edit things live without having to send a bunch of copies of the document back and forth. So anyone, I really suggest like that is doing teamwork in Excel sheets, switching to Google Sheets is a big game changer.
You can do that with Excel, except like we did that a lot during university. The problem is that when like you get 3 or more people editing it at the same time, it all just kind of goes to crap. And
That's true.
especially with like Word documents, and like when you're editing like one chapter and then your teammate like creates another page and just shifts all your work down, you're like, bro, what the hell?
Yep.
Come on.
Yep.
Yeah. Miss the good old uni days.
You know, right now I found myself for the first time ever to be anticipating technological advances that will be coming out. Like it always used to be that a new iPhone is coming out, and I would not really care. I would wait 2 years. I'd buy the 2-year-old version because it would be like 40% cheaper. And I think right now is the first time ever where like I can't wait for some things to come out. I think the biggest one for me are the AI glasses, the blend between Meta and Ray-Bans. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, like I've seen the commercials like, hey Meta, take a video or something like that.
They're sick. The video part, I'm not as excited about. In fact, there are so many ethical issues with the whole your glasses being recording. Like,
yeah, because no one knows.
no, technically you're supposed to have like a little light on the left side that will ignite, but there'll be a Chinese knockoff which will not have that. And therefore, like every time you go to a meeting or theater or cinema, you can now record in secret. That part I'm not looking so much forward to, but there are 2 aspects which are really cool. The first is that you can use Google Maps on your AI glasses.
Yeah.
Like there'll be a little screen on one side.
Also projects it in front of you. It doesn't just tell you like, oh, take the next left onto Battersea Road or something.
Yeah,
like that.
it does that, and it projects. There's a little screen in front of you. You can't see, the other person can't see it. So like if you were wearing AI glasses, which are supposed to come out in January, the Meta ones, I think they're called Meta Display.
Yeah.
Then you would not know that. I would not know that you're wearing them. And I think it's cool because very often, like I walk on the streets and I look down on my phone and I have to like, I don't know, keep it on and off and
and use your peripheral vision to like avoid hitting things.
Yeah, cars and bikes, especially in London, everything is like coming at you. I think that's cool. And the other one is because of that display in your glasses, you can have like notes. So like if you're doing a presentation or if you're talking to a colleague and you prepared for the conversation you're going to have, you can have notes in front of you without them knowing.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Decent. I know that like also, I don't know if you've seen it, Apple have done something similar, but they've got like VR goggles. And like, yeah, but I was just always thinking, for example, my problem with headphones, right?
Yeah.
Is that you put them on and about 2 hours later, your ears start hurting.
Yeah.
Same thing, like I imagine with these goggles, like you keep them on for so long and then it starts becoming uncomfortable.
I think the social punishment for wearing a massive helmet is also pretty high. Like I can't imagine going out with friends wearing it.
Yeah, that would be kind of...
Like I'd invite friends to my house to play and fuck around with this thing, but going like to the underground wearing this, I think the social punishment is too high.
Yeah, I feel like it's a work in progress. Like, it's going to be a while until we find it for something actually that's useful. Like, for example, I know that with the Pros, you just do, with the Apple goggles, you just do, like, it does, like, the fundamental basics of, like, what, for example, the first iPod would do, like, enter the App Store, look at, browse Safari, that kind of thing. But, yeah, I think it's a work in progress, and there needs to be, like, a need for it in the market for something. If you know what I mean. Yeah, it needs to serve a use. Like,
they're trying to like solve a problem which nobody had, I think. Yeah. Like, you know, the best way to make a business is first create the problem, then solve it, and then everybody will buy it from you.
Well, maybe people just don't know what the problem is, and then they're like, okay, well, I never thought I'd needed this, but I like to see where it goes.
Did you say that your ears hurt if you wear headphones for too long?
Yeah, the tops of my ears, yeah.
Is it, what kind of headphones are you wearing? Are you wearing like...
I mean, it's pretty much every headphone that I've ever had, like from...
But like the ones that cover your ears?
Yeah,
or like
overhead,
AirPod?
over-ear headphones.
There are these headphones, which my friend Alexi, who was also on the show, showed me. And they're so cool. I like... my partner's mother is wearing them. I'm giving them to my family members. It's very cool. They're like they don't go in your ear.
I've
They're like
seen them.
sunglasses, but just go behind your ear.
Yeah. I actually saw them for the first time last week.
Yeah,
They're,
really?
they're
What do you
like
think of it?
hearing aids or something.
Exactly.
That's sick.
I think it's cool because your ears are open, which I like.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't take away the sensory, like that sense of yours.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you can hear things pretty clearly. There's a good mic, and it shouldn't like if you're wearing glasses, it doesn't hurt you, right? So check them out.
Yeah.
You can buy a bunch of them. They're also like super cheap.
Yeah.
You can get them like on Amazon for £25 or something like that.
My friend who goes running just uses them like quite a lot, and he really recommends them. But also, like one thing that I've actually started noticing is that I found another problem, which is that earphones, my inner ear just keeps sweating so much. So pretty much because I can't wear over-ear headphones, I switched to in-ear earphones. But now I found a new problem, is that my ears are starting to sweat. And so I think that's a general progress of evolution.
Let me throw another one at you. I've discovered the coolest headphone ever.
What is it?
It is a headband with a massive display on your forehead, which makes you look like an absolute dickhead.
Yeah.
But it's a headband, like a bandana, with headphones in the bandana. So it's used for two things. Like if you're running, you can put on a bandana, keep the hair out of your face, and also listen to music. But what I use it for is I go to sleep with it. Because if my partner ever like does her nighttime routine and I already want to be sleeping, instead of like having to bother with the lights coming on and off and trying to hide from the sounds, I have my headphones on. I can't hear anything. I use the thing as a eye cover.
Oh.
And it's like a blindfold.
Yeah.
It's the best thing ever. I recommend it to everyone. It's like the new discovery I'm really excited about.
See, speaking of blindfolds, in Scotland, well, I don't know whether you have it in England, but during peak summertime, the sun doesn't really set, so it's even at like midnight, it's still kind of bright outside.
Are you that north? Oh, I guess you are.
Yeah. So pretty much, for the last year, or sorry, the year before, I spent my first summer in Scotland, the first full summer. And pretty much I didn't have any of these kinds of sleeping masks.
Yeah.
So I decided to whip out my old COVID masks and use those.
Oh.
I was like, I mean, hey, I'm putting them to good use. I
think everyone has like a huge stack of COVID masks that you bought out of terror and fear.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't get used up now.
There's a really funny meme that I remember, and it was like, choose your fighter. So this was at like the peak start of COVID, where people were making like their own masks. So like one guy had like one of those massive like like empty water bottles over his head.
Yeah.
One guy had like some women's knickers over his head. It's hilarious. Yeah, and pick your fighter.
And then the mask is like the regular Joe is wearing a mask, nothing special.
Yeah.
Feels like COVID was like such a, I don't know, not even such a long time ago, but feels like it was in a different lifetime. Since COVID, there's been like so much other action happening.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It feels like it's been an age away, but it's not even been what, 6 years.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's strange.
It's gonna be weird just telling our grandkids about it. Like, oh, I went through a phase where like we weren't allowed to leave the house, only for like essentials, and
a lot of people didn't know if it was ever going to end or not. They were like, oh, what if this is like the new reality?
Oh yeah. Lockdown was very interesting.
On the topic of lockdown and maybe a on-theme topic, I had I read an interesting idea about how it's a good idea to keep your happiness in your own power.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the thesis goes that if you let other things control your happiness, you're less likely to be happy. For example, if you tell yourself that you're going to be happy when your kids graduate school and become independent, or you're going to be happy when you get a job promotion, or you're going to be happy when the weather gets better, then you're like not in control of that. You're like having external factors affect your happiness. And apparently a good way of changing that mindset is to put the power over your own happiness in your own hands. So like telling yourself that you'll find happiness when you adopt a new habit, or when you manage to contribute to a certain project that you're interested in, or when you finally achieve waking up at a certain time that you want to, or things like that. In other words, like instead of having external factors affecting your happiness, trying to hardwire your brain for the happiness to purely depend on you.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? Because I thought that was an
I
interesting.
mean, dude, I've actually started practicing this like long before.
Really?
I've stopped watching Arsenal.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, like, honestly, you have no idea how like growing up, my weekends, like whether I'd be happy or not, depended on whether Arsenal would win or lose. And like that time, like 2015-16, we were going through like a horrible period. And like I just kept watching it, and then like one week I'd be so happy, and then the next week my mom just couldn't stand me because I was in such a sulky mood. We go to a beautiful place like the Limassol Marina, and I'd just be there unhappy because we just lost 1-0 to Bournemouth or something like that.
To be fair, I'd be pretty unhappy if I lost 1-0 to Bournemouth.
Well, you are losing 1-0 to Bournemouth.
Yes.
Yeah, keeping whatever makes you happy in your own hands. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Do you have any examples? Like, for example, do you go to the gym and then you're happy? Or?
Yeah, like before we started recording, we were talking about like figuring out a certain like how to put one back in balance, like emotional balance, if one's tilted. And I think I found a few hacks of how to just solve a negative mood. It's not foolproof. It doesn't work 100% of the time, but like 8 times out of 10, if I am having like, sometimes you fall into that like lazy and unmotivated potato state when you're on the couch and you're not sleepy enough to sleep, you're not active enough to do anything, and you're just kind of like binge watching reel after reel without actively enjoying it. And it's pretty a tough one to jump out of, I think, but 8 times out of 10, if I make that really difficult step to go to the gym just for like 30 minutes, I come back and it's gone. Like, I don't feel the slimy laziness afterwards. Then I feel motivated, and then I may actually be doing the exact same thing, but just because I'm doing it with more intent, I feel good about myself. I feel good about doing it. So I think gym or just some even stretchy yoga stuff at home just puts you in a different state. I think that's a big one. How about you? Any hacks that you've discovered recently that puts you in a better state?
I think just like taking it easy, just in general. Like, so growing up again, like I really thought that like studying, like this is all I should be doing every day, and yeah, this is like my path to becoming a doctor and things like that, which clearly didn't work out. So pretty much just learning to kind of take it easy. If I feel tired, don't push myself. That's just listening to what your body wants sometimes. I feel like that's, just not pushing myself as hard.
So you got an interesting story where you wanted to become a doctor and then switch to being an engineer, and now you're a successful engineer. You just told me earlier that 60% of your class dropped out.
So I'll kind of clarify this a bit more. So pretty much, I think we started on like 30, 40 odd people. And pretty much in Scotland, it's a bit different to the English system for the undergraduate. So in England, you'll do 3 years and get your undergraduate. In Scotland, you'll do 4 years. Where the first year is pretty much just foundation level, foundation year to pretty much get everyone up to scratch and everyone on the same page. So pretty much my undergrad course was 4 years. People got their undergrad, and then quite a lot of people left because with us, you could do 1 additional year to get your master's.
Yeah.
And that pretty much speeds you along to getting your chartership, which is later on. And a chartership pretty much allows you to sign off on your own projects.
So when you ended up being 13 people rather than 30, 40, was that just people not continuing with their studies? Were they kicked out? Did they drop out?
I'd say like 5 or 6 people, but then like from before. So if we started on like, let's say 35 or something like that,
Yeah.
5 leave, and so about 50% reduced.
Okay.
So,
Okay. But
yeah.
like, did people leave because they continued on with their career that doesn't include studies, or did they like decide, fuck this, engineering is too much, and
Yeah, I mean, it was a whole different set. So some people just took a gap year, some people just repeated a year, and some people just left, and that's just the way the world works. Sometimes it just doesn't work out.
But yeah, I was gonna ask, since you were studying to become a doctor, do you think that all that time that you've, let's say, I don't know what one studies to be a doctor, biology, do you think that that helped you in be studying better as an engineering student? Or do you think the two are too irrelevant to each other, and then just
Like,
it needed to be done for you to figure things out, but it's okay if you would not have done it in the first place?
it's kind of completely different because, like, with biology, I always felt like it was a lot of memorizations, and yeah, it's you remember a pathway, memorize it, put it into an exam, and that's pretty much repeated for quite a lot of the things. And then with civils, it's just completely different. I think I've very rarely taken notes in civils because it's all just like problem solvings and reading manuals and things like that.
Oh, very
So
interesting.
it's completely two different ways of working and studying. And I think I'm just more better as a person. I'm just better suited to the kind of less note taking, more kind of get in on the action rather than memorizing.
So I thought you were gonna say that the two are related because studying one thing helps you study the other thing. But if they're that different, then no. Because that's what I found after my university. For 4 years that I was studying, I was thinking, what a waste of time. And then, like, recently, I took like a quantum computing course, which actually is like surprisingly relevant to the spa industry. But without getting into detail why it could be relevant, I think the 4 years that I spent studying completely unrelated things helped me become better at the actual learning new things aspect of things. So the things I learned are not very relevant, but now that I do need to learn something relevant, I think I caught on to it faster than I would if I didn't have the 4 years experience of studying at university. It's like the skill. I found it relevant.
See, if I could, I'd go back in time and like warn myself of something.
Yeah.
I think it's
Invest in crypto.
other than that. Wouldn't we all?
Yeah.
No, I think I was genuinely just studying wrong.
Oh, really?
So with me, it was I'd open a book, I'd look at all like the highlighted words, write them down, memorize them. Didn't understand the meaning. I could just regurgitate it in an exam paper.
Right.
This might work well for the IGCSEs because that's essentially what they'll ask you to do.
Yeah.
Just, do you know what X, Y, Z means? Write down the definition. But when you start getting into like A levels and like slightly higher stuff, when you need to start applying the information that you've learned, that doesn't work at all. And I found out the hard way during my A levels. So yeah, pretty much I continued doing that. IGCSEs, the books are about this thin.
Yeah.
A levels, the books are pretty much around 2 times the size. And because you've got several subjects at the same time, it's a lot more difficult. And so pretty much I had these notebooks on notebooks on notebooks, pretty much regurgitating everything that was said in the textbooks. And it just doesn't work.
I think we also got quite lucky that when we were at school, AI wasn't around.
Oh, jeez.
Because I think, like right now, it's hilarious where students are using AI to do the homework and teachers are using AI to mark the homework.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, there's going to be some kind of a revolution in the schooling system. It's going to have to happen. Just right now, nobody really knows.
But generally, going back onto my point,
Yeah.
it's understanding the principles that's the most important
Of
thing,
course.
rather than being able to just repeat what's said in a book.
Of course, because like there are two ways of studying. There's studying to pass the exam, and there's studying to become good at what you're studying for. And unfortunately, the way that exams are made is what you were doing in the beginning,
Yeah.
just, finding out a bunch of definitions, is more rewarding because by investing 2-3 hours, you can memorize overnight a bunch of these words, score well on the exam. But to actually have a deep understanding of those would take weeks or months. But the exam doesn't know that. As long as you tick the right box, it's the same amount of points.
Yeah.
So I was lucky enough where I never had the pressure of having to pass an exam. So what I've done is, if I like the subject, I would study it for the sake of being interested in it. Especially now, if I'm taking some courses, I don't need the grade. I need the knowledge. And then, of course, you then default to the second method of studying, where you actually try to understand what's going on, and
because now it's important.
Because now it's important.
Yeah. Like when your life, I don't want to say when your life depends on it. When
well, it kind of does,
when
right?
your work depends on it. Like when stuff actually starts to matter. Yeah, that's when you start prioritizing understanding and why things work the way they do.
To be honest, I'm very happy I'm finished with all the studying and university.
For sure,
you as well, right?
Dude, like my mum, like as soon as I finished university, she was like, "Are you sure you don't want to do a PhD? Are you sure?" And I'm like, "No,
Absolutely.
I'm done." Was it Erin? Erin just she's in the last year of her PhD.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I'm done with academia.
Yeah.
I'm done studying. I've been here for a decade. I just want to leave."
I know that a lot of people that do a PhD, and this is something that I think the older generation goes on a lot about, they want to stay in academia rather than go out and I don't want to say do difficult jobs, because obviously academia is a difficult job as well, but they don't want to go out and do the dirty jobs. They want to finish their 9 years of studying and re-roll back into universities. Apparently that's what a lot of the professors that I talked to mentioned. And their concern is interesting because it comes from a point of, we need a lot of bright minds to push the world forward. And if you've got a PhD in something, then you're the top 1%, the top 0.5%.
Yeah, you're the expert in the
You're the expert. It would be a waste to put your knowledge just to circle around in education, rather than use it to make a discovery or push a certain industry forward. But apparently, especially in what's the study of rockets?
Aerospace engineering.
Is something like that. I don't think it's engineering, like the actual, maybe aerospace engineering. Quantum computing and advanced mathematics. A lot of people kind of circulate in and out of university, being a student and becoming a professor. And apparently it's a problem, because a lot of actual experts that do the work, because they get paid less and because the work they're doing is very hard and high pressure, there's very little incentive for them to step out of high-end universities.
Wait, so you're saying that they'll do all the research, they're the 1%, and what, they just go back into universities and they don't contribute to?
Something like that.
I'm just not understanding.
Yeah, so I've just been to that quantum computing lecture, and the professor we had was from Hong Kong, and he is so knowledgeable about how these crazy futuristic computers work. And he says that out of his 13 PhD students, 11, as soon as they finish their PhD, have a teaching role rather than a practical role. So instead of going to work for a private company that develops quantum computers, creates new theories, works on the hardware, works on the software, 11 out of the 13 of his students are just going to different universities to get a teaching role.
I mean, to be honest, I don't see why a lot of the professors that I've met, they've just teaching's something that they seem to do on the side. Most of the time they're just writing papers and doing research. They still do that. That's what they do for 90% of their time. Are you sure that's the...
Yeah, to be honest, my partner is in finance, and that's also the case. But I think that's the case in top universities. Maybe like where I was studying, for example, in Cyprus,
Yeah.
everybody were a professional teacher. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's
Yeah.
just if you have all that knowledge, like objectively from a philosophical point of the worldview, it's nice if you also had the actual practice.
Yeah. Possibly. I mean,
But you don't see it as a problem in your university. But you say that everybody out there
like
actually doing this stuff.
Dundee, like, so Dundee's very well known for their research in concrete.
Yeah.
Like their concrete and ground engineering. And pretty much what the teachers would just tell me about is they would do like 3 or 4 hours a week of teaching and then commit the other 36, 37 into research and publishing papers. Nice. But yeah, to be honest, I actually asked like one of the teachers there who's been doing it for like, I don't know, 40 years. He retired last year. And I was like, do you not get bored of teaching the same thing over and over and over again?
Oh, but it's not the same thing, is it?
It is.
It is actually? It is,
essentially.
Doesn't the industry like progress, and so you have to like take different perspectives and different angles on it?
I feel like when you're at an undergrad level, you're just getting a grips with the basics.
Right.
And like
right.
physics and maths is just not going to change.
Yeah, of course.
And he said that it keeps me motivated and it keeps it pretty much new because the students are changing and the students will have their own questions and their own problems that they'll need to be helped with pretty much. But yeah, like they were just full on straight up saying, yeah, we like all the teaching that we do as professors, it only takes up about like 10% of our time. The rest of it's just like 90% is getting high on coffee and banging out papers.
Well, this is very interesting. To be honest, this is why I like doing what I'm doing here, because I've heard the complete opposite opinion just the other week, where apparently a teaching job takes up 90% of your time. Jeez. And if you somehow have a real job plus teaching, then it's essentially like having 2 full-time jobs. So
maybe the finance sector is different.
It could be that the finance sector is different. It could be that different professors are different. Like, I've got a full-time job and I run this on the side, and it doesn't take all that much time for me. But then I know a lot of people who run a podcast like professionally, and then it's the opposite for them. They've got a side business which they're just like having fun with, and the podcast is the main line of work. So it could be a similar thing with teaching, where depending on where you put your life's priority, you also dedicate different amount of time to it.
Depends on the person.
You taught, by the way. How was that? You were
scary. So I mean, I didn't teach. Well, I did kind of. You
had a whole class. They called you Mr. Willetts.
No. So I helped. I pretty much ran a tutorial for first year structural engineering students, and that was quite intimidating. So it's like a class of 20 people, and then I just stood there and just went through example papers and then answered questions, and that was really fun. I actually really enjoyed it. I would say this, like, it's really good because it tests your own knowledge of the basics.
Yeah.
And when you get asked a question, when I get asked a question, the first few seconds I do like literally shit myself. But then I'm like, oh, okay, this does this, and that does that. But in general, if you ever wanted to like test how good your own knowledge is of the basics, go into like teaching, because that was fun and yeah, it was great.
I love teaching. I had
taught
piano student, and it was really, really rewarding. I think emotionally, it's so cool when you kind of help another person get from one level, and then after a little bit of time, you can see that your contribution actually added up, and over time they're better.
Yeah.
At something. It's very, very rewarding.
Yeah, because it's not just a win for them; it's a win for you as well. It shows that what you're teaching them is going in.
If anything, I feel like the professors and the teachers are more happy than the students when everyone's doing well, because I feel like, I don't know, like at least from the experience again back at uni days, you didn't have much time to celebrate after you finished an exam. It was like stress for you, and it was never like happiness. Yeah. It was always like, phew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I was teaching. It's actually like celebrating when everything went well and you see progress and so on.
See, like in general, just another thing that I would go back
Oh, yeah.
to my
Yeah.
younger self and say is that everyone that I've ever met is always just here to help.
Yeah.
I've always thought that like people, like especially like senior engineers, like anytime I had asked them the question, they're like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, how do you not know this? Like, geez, did they teach you anything at uni?" But honestly, I've never met anyone like that.
Oh.
Everyone that I've met has always been like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll help. Give you a hand with this, give you a hand with that." And if anyone needs to repeat themselves once, twice, three times, as long as you've got it, then they're happy. And that's one thing that I've really enjoyed about this industry is that everyone's always here to help.
I totally agree. I think it's like this in most industries. Like, at least I'm quite naive when it comes to like viewing the world. Like, I think that
You
inherent.
think it's not, or it is?
I think it is. I think
Yeah.
that inherently all people are good,
Yeah.
and the only people that are like evil or angry or bullies are one of two categories: either hurt people, like the whole hurt people,
Yeah.
or they're doing it out of desperation because there's no other way.
Yeah.
For example, like I don't know, the cartel in Mexico.
Mexico.
Mexico. Every single documentary that I watch on it, it keeps popping up that people are doing these horrible jobs and everything like that. But if they had like an alternative where they could be a dentist or do something that actually pays a living wage, nobody wants to shoot people, put their life at risk, and torture people alive. There's just a lack of alternative. That's why you go into something that's inherently bad.
I completely agree with you. I think from there's just something in us that always makes us want to just help people. That's just our natural kind of our natural programming, and I love that about the human race. I finished listening to the book The Martian by Andrew Weir, and that's pretty much how it ended, where like the whole world just got together to save this one bloke on Mars.
Aww.
And it was like inherently we are all programmed to like want to help each other.
Despite the dark history that every single part of the world has, I think there's most of that is true.
Yeah,
I think we are programmed in a
it's
positive
interesting
way.
I think that, and yet you just bring up history where we just like, especially in the medieval times, just do the most horrible shit to each other.
So I think different cultures throughout the whole time until the 1960s would assume the other culture to be below human. It's like, how we're doing like experiments on rats and frogs and everybody's okay with it. Like if we're most people like at least like it's not something that probably like at least on a government level it's legal. Like if you want to take up some rats and do some experiments and feed them cocaine and see how their brains explode, feel free, as long as you've got somebody financing you. I feel like the same way how we see rats before some kind of televised wars, before the Vietnam War was televised, before some kind of social media, people would view somebody that doesn't live in their village, in their country, that they're not in the same tribe with, as subhuman, as just somebody below them. So whenever they would do something horrible like slaughter everyone and take their homes, I feel like it comes from a point not of I'm gonna kill these humans. It's gonna be like, I'm the human, they don't deserve to be a human, so I'm just hunting.
It's exactly what America did towards the end of World War II, where they were pretty much dehumanizing the Japanese.
Yeah.
And like everyone was like, all right, let's drop the night bomb on them. Fine.
Yeah. Gonna go to Japan soon. We'll learn about that. Or people going to what is now the USA, right? Also I guess the Native Americans mostly died from the plagues that we brought them, but I feel like if not for the plagues, it would have kind of ended up as it always does.
The what, sorry?
The plagues. So I think when the ships from Spain, I think it was from Spain, came to the US.
Oh, yeah. They absolutely obliterated all the people there because they were just not used to the sicknesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I've just watched like a documentary on it. The reason that the Native Americans got sick with European plagues, but the Europeans did not get sick with the American plagues, is actually quite interesting. Most of the deadliest plagues, in fact, all of the deadliest plagues, come from cross-species infections, which are really rare. Because basically, like I believe even COVID, like some people think it's lab created, but like if we go back to what the beginning theory was, that it comes from bats and stuff like that. The reason that viruses are so deadly is because they don't know you're human. They think you're a cow, or they think you're like what is it called? The Black Death. I think it was the pig. So for just a regular flu, for
It's
like
not rats. Is it not?
Was it rats? I don't remember now. But anyway, it thinks you're a different animal.
Yeah.
So while it's just a regular flu for a cow, for a human, it's the Black Death, and it's super deadly. But the virus doesn't know that it's not in a cow, and so it's actually in a human, and ends up killing them. Well, basically, Europe had a lot of these domesticated animals.
So are you saying that like viruses are speciesist? Like they're like, I'm here to kill cows. And I'm gonna assume you're also a cow.
Pretty much, except they wouldn't kill a cow. For a cow, they would just sneeze a couple times and be fine.
Yeah.
But because your immune system is either different or worse or better, or I don't know, upside down compared to a cow's, it kind of kills you.
Fair enough.
And there were a lot of domesticated animals in Europe. In fact, there were animals everywhere, like horses and cows and pigs and chickens. So the chance of this like cross-species infection would be somewhat high, because eventually it would jump onto a person.
Because so is in conclusion, is it because Europeans had a greater variety of animals than
exactly
than the early people in America?
Not only variety, but they were also around animals more. Because if you think of the US, like they were like the US has llamas.
Yeah.
Sorry, alpacas.
Same thing.
Yeah. Buffalo. Good fucking luck domesticating a buffalo.
Oh yeah.
It's the equivalent of domesticating a tank.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. There's a wonderful video that CPG Grey made, which was like how to domesticate an animal, and they need to follow the 3 rules.
3 F's, right?
Yeah, so that's family friendly. They fecund easily, meaning that they're easy to
they fuck
breed.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the third one. Is it like they're
feedable.
easy to feed? They're feedable.
Yeah.
Like you can feed a chicken quite easy, but like a tiger, that's gonna be very expensive.
Yeah.
They don't want one. But yeah, the 3 F's.
Yeah, the buffalo is gonna fecund you.
Have you ever heard of the term heteropaternal superfecundation?
No.
So heteropaternal, meaning more than one parent.
Yeah.
Superfecundation, well, we already know, to reproduce. So it's pretty much where a woman has twins, but the twins are from 2 different dads. And this was the last time this was seen was...
I didn't know that.
The last time this was seen was with a woman from Brazil.
Oh, wow.
But this happened in Greek mythology as well. And you know how much of a buff I am for Greek mythology.
Tell me about
it. Heracles or Hercules. So pretty much the father, I guess, pretty much there was a king and a queen, and the king insulted Zeus for some reason. So Zeus came down and screwed his wife,
nice.
Kind of looking like him, because, you know, Zeus is a shape-shifty mother trucker.
Yeah.
And then pretty much Zeus went away, and then the actual king came back, and the queen was like so surprised, like, oh, "You're back already?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah." And then he screwed her, and then, yeah. What is it? Heracles came out himself and his brother, but like he belonged to Zeus, and the other bloke was just forgotten in history.
I have a conspiracy theory.
Go for it.
Back in the times where the Greek mythology gods existed, there were no paternity tests.
Oh.
I think the wife, what's the mother's name?
I don't know.
Yeah, her. She she had
Your
no
mum's a hoe. Whoever threw that, your mum's a hoe.
she had no idea who the father is, but she wanted both of their, support. So she's like, this one's yours, this one's yours. Now both of you come serve me.
So pretty much. And then after this happened, Hera, the wife of Zeus, found out, and she was none too happy that her husband cheated on her. So to protect the babies, the king and the queen basically said, okay, well, in honor of Hera, to protect our son, we'll call him after Hera. So in Greek mythology, he's called Heracles. I think it's been Americanized to Hercules.
This reminds me of a fun fact that I learned about dolphins. Apparently, women dolphins are right hoes.
Say it again?
Yeah.
Dolphins are hoes.
Lady dolphins, they fuck. Basically,
I think I've heard that, yeah. So like male dolphins take turns like plowing the female or something.
do you know why?
Tell me.
So, if a male dolphin sees offspring that's not theirs, they bully it, sometimes as far as killing it.
Oh, so they don't know.
Exactly. But if the female, before getting pregnant, fucked the whole tribe of male dolphins, then they think, oh, well, there's a chance it's mine, so they won't bully it. So it's a protective mechanism not to get hostile attention from male dolphins.
That really reminds me of, how lions pretty much have one alpha and then they pretty much lead.
Yeah.
They pretty much have all the females. So pretty much when the alpha dies, the new alpha, he'll kill the kids or like the kid cubs from the previous alpha.
It's rough.
Yeah, so it kind of reminds me of that a bit.
Yeah. And the lionesses, female lions, if their pride leader gets killed, they just very happily follow the new, stronger pride leader.
Yeah, I mean, alphas.
Yeah. I was in South Africa earlier this year, and I got to see lions for the first time.
How was it?
You kind of feel like if you're in the savannah, it's the rules are different, and you can kind of really feel it. I don't know. Like you're still obviously, you're not actually in the savannah. You're in a car with like a driver, and you're in the shade, and you smell of sunscreen, and everything around knows that you're there. But you get like this little glimpse through seeing how it's probably like out there, and it's really rough because everything is after eating each other. The rules of life are very brutal. The value of life is very small. Like at any point, anything that's alive in the savannah can be hunted. And even if you're like in the same tribe, like rhinos fight and lions fight, and everything eats to the next. It's like a whole philosophy. It was pretty interesting to
pretty
meditate
much like
on.
Early humans in a way, like everything's fair game. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
Remember, like we went to Rome. Was it 2020?
Yeah, a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, like we just like listened to the barbaric stories of like the Colosseum, for example, how like the floor is made up of sand because it's able to soak up water.
Oh no!
Soak up blood. By the way, see, like in ground engineering, we have two types. We have two types of conditions when it comes to ground.
Yeah.
We have clay, which we always assume is undrained because it's very, very fine, so it's more likely to keep water inside. And we've got drained condition, which is like, for example, sand, because we always assumed a sand is drained because it's more coarse and it's able to seep water through it. And that's how I knew that fact when we were at the tour. We were at the tour around the Colosseum.
Yeah.
And the tour guide asked, "Oh, do you know why? The Colosseum floor is made of sand?" And I was like, my ground engineering theory just came into play. Oh, it's because it drains all the time.
Does it happen often that your engineering knowledge helps you in everyday life? I kind of assume it would.
We have a saying in civils is that if it looks wrong, it probably is.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, if something looks wonky, you probably know something's not going right. yeah, that's
It's good of looking at
something
it.
that I've learned from third year.
When I was just launching this podcast, I wanted to name it like I wanted to include the word lens in the name, either like my name and lens, like Max Martin's lens, or
Yeah.
like a different lens or something like that. Because I like this like romantic idea that if the same 10 people, if 10 people, different people, walk down the same street, their experience of it will be completely different because they view the world from a different lens.
Yeah.
If a psychologist walks down the street, they will think about, what kind of people walk on the street, and how does the color of the street, like I don't know, if the highway is green, like it is in Eastern countries, like in Eastern Europe, it helps the retina relax, and so you can concentrate more. But if all the houses are red or made of marble, specifically red, that increases your appetite. Like that's how the psychologists were perceived walking down the street. A person from the business background will walk down a street and think business opportunities, like, oh, there shouldn't be a cafe, there should be a hotel there. An engineer will be like, oh, this building, what did you say? If it doesn't look right,
it's a bit wonky.
It's a bit wonky. It probably isn't. And then, I don't know, every single profession that walks down a street, every single path of life will have like a slightly different thing that they notice and spot.
Yeah.
And I really like that. This unique variable of, infinite amount of variable in people. It's pretty cool once you get to know it.
Was it in Glasgow? So you know how, I'll just go, you know how in Pisa you've got the Leaning Tower of Pisa? In Glasgow, you've got the Leaning Clock Tower of Glasgow.
Uh-oh.
So it's pretty much just on the, it's not too far from the Mitchell Library. I think I walked you around there or something.
Oh, I don't remember Glasgow.
But it's pretty much just this, like, let's say 5-meter tall clock tower. And you can see quite clearly that it's it's kind of wonky. It's pretty much undergone more settlement on one side than the other. So it's just kind of like, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. When a building just gets built, for the first 3 years or so, it actually sinks in a little bit more. So like if you take a ruler and you bring it to the top when it's just built, and you do the same thing a year or two after, it's going to sink in a little bit. Is that what happened?
Essentially, you're squashing all the water out of it.
Oh, is it the water?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just like digging itself into the ground a little bit.
So, for example, when you're...
Where's water in a building?
Not the water in the building, the water in the ground.
Of course. Okay. No. So then it is sinking in the ground, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Just it's the water that gets pushed out.
Yeah. So pretty much what happens is, like, when a building's initially built, I like the so in order to teach us about it, our soil mechanics teacher pretty much just took a bag of Pringles.
Yep.
And he took the bag of Pringles, and initially what he did was he just applied a weight.
Yep.
And then, as you can imagine, the bag expands.
Yeah.
And then he poked some holes in it. And then initially when you put down a building, it's fine. You won't see anything because the bag of Pringles expands.
Yes.
But then as you give it more and more time, the water will begin to seep and seep out. And then the strength, the pressure from the water moves into the actual ground particles. And that's as the water is kind of like splooged out, the load is transferred to the soil directly.
Somebody's supposed to calculate all that stuff before a building's
yes.
made, right?
Yes. Somebody does. Wink, wink.
I think AI is going to take all your jobs.
You think? One day. But hopefully that's going to be in the next 40 years after I retire. So
Before we started recording, you'll tell me about the issue that comes with young engineers not being able to find a job because AI can already do it better.
Yeah, so there's a BBC...
Just throw your mic a touch closer. Yeah,
sure.
Go on.
So there was a BBC kind of news video, where pretty much this journalist just went around a lot of the new a lot of companies, like lawyers, tech, that kind of thing, and there's a general kind of like problem at the moment where a lot of graduates after university, they're finding it very difficult to find jobs, and pretty much the reason being is that a lot of companies would rather use AI than hire new graduates. Main advantage, it's free. Yeah, it's free. But the problem that you make with that is that, let's say you've got three levels of experience. I'm just going to use engineering here just as an example. You've got your graduate engineers, you've just got your engineers, and then you've got your senior engineers. And then what happens when you take your graduate engineers out is that you're just left with just the engineers and the senior engineers.
That's right.
Eventually, the senior engineers will retire, and then like the middle engineers will become the senior engineers.
Yeah.
But now you've got a gap. You don't have something to replace them, which I found.
Can AI replace the what is it? So it's graduate engineers, junior engineers, and senior. Yeah. Can AI replace regular engineers, and then everything just slowly gets replaced, and then it's just the people on the very top running the show?
I don't know. I was actually on the train down to London, and we were sitting next to architects, and they were just saying how like.
Did you have a little fight because you guys hate each other?
No, I was chuckling afterwards, but pretty much the AI is based on whatever information that you feed into it.
Yeah.
And they were pretty much using AI in order to get a floor plan sorted. Oh.
Uh-oh. Just a moment. We'll be right back. And we're back.
So pretty much where we left off was architects were using, I guess, like information, i.e. pictures that they fed in to this AI model in order to generate a plan, like pretty much a bird's eye view of a building floor or something like that. And it's, I don't know what they finally got into, but they were saying how like structural engineers don't have to go through the problems that we do. They're going to be so fine. Like AI is definitely not going to affect them, but
yeah, it's going to affect the soul.
We were talking about it. Like, I think that if the best way to use AI is to use it to complement your work, not to completely replace it. And yeah, I can't imagine just getting completely replaced by AI.
I don't think, I also think that the truth is somewhere in the middle. I don't like it when people scream like what I've just done earlier when I was like, hey, it's going to take your job, you're fucked. But I also don't think that it's not going to have an impact. My understanding of the world is that it's just going to be a lot tougher to get a competitive advantage against AI, but still very much possible. If you're not really good at what you're doing, if you just have some surface level information, if you just can kind of click a few buttons on the computer, that will not be in demand. So in order for an engineer to have an engineering job, they need to have a deep understanding, proficiency, and something that is above surface level information, because AI has surface level information. So I guess where I'm going with this is the top 10% of engineers will be very comfortable and great. And then the bottom 50% will probably either have to step up and become much more qualified, educated, and good at what they're doing, or lose a job. And then the 40 in the middle will kind of be like between the two.
But that's the thing, like with any, this applies to lawyers, doctors and whatnot, you get better and better as you gain more and more experience. So, and I think that it goes back to that like kind of like 3 levels hierarchy.
Yeah.
That, okay, obviously graduates are going to start off and they have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then as they progress through years and years and years, more and more experience to learn about new codes, new methods of doing things more sustainably and whatnot. And then they elevate their experiences. You can't just get AI to completely eradicate all the graduates, I feel, because at the end of the day, you get better through experience, through doing more projects. And I just can't imagine AI.
I think companies will do that chasing short-term profits. I think although it's not sustainable for 10 years plus, because like you said, they'll just create a big gap.
Yeah.
in the available people, but
Yeah.
either they'll leave that problems for other companies to solve, or if a CEO is there and they need to make, hit a high bottom line at the end of this year, or they're out of their job, they'll do whatever it takes. And then, despite the fact that in the long term it's not the best idea, they might be seduced from the short term benefits.
But then, yeah. But
then it's looking dark.
Yeah, but then like they are exposed to suffering from the long term consequences if they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you'll run out of people, and then you're back to square one, where you've got AI, but you've got a bunch of inexperienced engineers or lawyers and whatnot. So you're kind of back to square one.
Right now in my company at Seven Valley Spa, we are trying out our first ever AI employee.
Okay.
We're just in the beginning of it, but essentially this person is supposed to help with some accounting work. And it's really cool. Like, it's not as impressive for people that already have them, but I'm launching it for the first time. And this agent has access to Excel and files and Gmail, and it uses obviously ChatGPT for like all the prompts writing. And basically, it's going to send out emails to a bunch of people that work in the company, asking to receive invoices for all the spendings they've done in the week.
Yeah.
Then they're going to separate those invoices into 14 folders, depending on different types of invoices that there are. And they're going to rename them, structure them, double check them. If some invoices are missing, they're going to follow up with some emails, be like, hey, you've made that spending. We don't have the invoice. Please come back to me with an invoice by the end of the week, or I'll send you another reminder. And all this is a concept. It's not working, but it completely sounds like something that an agent can do right now. And that will save like 25 hours a week from somebody else that works in the company that can now do something, that has a much higher value than just sorting and sorting through a bunch of papers. I think it's a positive. Nobody's losing their job. The person that has very high potential now doesn't have to do the boring stuff. We didn't have the budget to hire a new person in the first place, but now just our output is greater because of AI. And best thing about it, it's free.
Yeah,
it's free.
Yeah. There's a book that I was listening to. I don't have a lot of time to read books. I just listen to them.
Oh, nice.
It was the same guy who wrote *Sapiens*, Yuri Noah Harari.
Yeah.
He wrote a third book. I think it's the third or the second book in the series, called 21 Lessons for the Human Race. And he was talking about like, okay, AI is going to be world changing, but he made a pretty interesting kind of comparison to like the internet, where like when the internet first like started getting really mainstream, really big, there was a general concern that it's going to wipe out everything.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, and a lot of like things did get broken down. So, for example, DVD renting, let's say, a lot of media that we got before from outside of the internet, it kind of all crumbled because of the rise of YouTube.
TV
Netflix.
channels I don't understand how they're still up and running.
Yeah. But pretty much his response to this was that humans are also able to adapt, and pretty much what's going to happen is that although the internet was pretty much able to take away many jobs, it also provided the foundation for new jobs. For example, social media, TikTok giving people, I don't know, influencers, things like this.
You wouldn't be able to imagine an influencer.
Server managers, things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it created a new wave of jobs.
Like, imagine trying to explain to somebody before, like in the 70s, how the development of emails will eventually lead to being able to monetize dances on camera. Like I think there's the same connection that we
Yeah.
just don't have with AI coming around. Like obviously we can be like we need software engineers and we need people to make regulation for it. Like these things we could come up with, but there's probably something that's as crazy to us as the concept of influencers
Mm.
was for people that lived in the 70s.
Yeah. So pretty much his argument was the exact same. Okay, AI is going to come in. There's an initial like worry that it's going to take everyone's jobs, but it's more than likely going to generate more and more jobs. Probably more in the tech, but
Thing is, it's probably going to be a net positive. Like unless we all nuke each other and kill each other, it's going to be a net positive. The problem is that I think it was Confucius that said, it's the greatest curse to live in the time of great change. While on paper, it's going to be the same amount of people that are employed. Because of the change, there still will be a huge amount of people that will be out of job, that won't be able to adapt, that will live, the longer second half of their life without being able to incorporate into this new world that AI will bring in.
yeah.
So while I think again, net positive, but let's say there was a person that ran a horse-related business before the invention of cars. Like, are cars a good thing? Yes. The horse industry has been wiped out in like 20 years.
Yeah.
If you produce horseshoes, or if you were grooming horses, or if you owned barns for horses, or if you were making horse food, or if you were giving horse riding lessons, or if you were creating leather, and your main your main buyers were people that were buying horse saddles,
Yeah.
you're out of a job. And that's what you've been doing for 30 years. And you don't know anything about cars. You're
Yeah.
behind on it. You're going to be out of the job. You'll have to sell your house and live on the streets. But it's still not positive.
Yeah.
That's kind of where the darkness and I guess the beauty and the darkness comes with AI.
I don't know whether it was you or someone else who probably said this line, but like the most successful people in the next decade or so will be the ones who adapt the most easily, because we are going to be going through a lot of change. That is inevitable. But if you're able to adapt to those changes and use AI to maximize shareholder value as much as possible, then by all means go for it. You'll be
think
very
it
successful.
wasn't me, because I actually, while I completely agree with it, I will also contradict myself a little bit here. I also think that, again, using the invention of cars as an example, a lot of the times me and like lots of other guys I know that are in business are really worried about like how do we adapt and how do we get onto the whole artificial intelligence game, and how do we not fall behind. And I heard somebody say that it's the equivalent of like cars being invented and you're being worried about like, oh my God, how do I not miss out on cars? How do I like not fall behind? And it's like, you don't have to do anything. Roads will be built around you. Taxis will be distributed in your city. Like you'll be fine. It will all come around. Just keep looking around. You don't have to actually jump and adapt and hold on to something. It will just be around you so soon. You'll integrate no matter what.
Yeah. Got a long decade ahead of us, but honestly, like I think AI. The problem with AI is not even its fault at the moment. It's kind of used as a buzzword by a lot of companies nowadays.
Yeah.
It's like it's just our systems integrated with AI. Like for example, potentially I'm not using AI to the best of its ability with Apple, but with like for example an iPhone.
Yeah.
But like one of the things in their last iPhone that they were most excited about was using AI to like generate customized emojis, and I'm like, who the hell is going to use that?
Actually, that does sound pretty cool. But to your point, yes, I actually don't think it's a good selling point when companies like throw AI everywhere. Like I've seen a drink which said that the formula has been integrated with AI somehow.
What does that mean?
First of all, what the fuck does that mean? Second of all, instead of it being a human, you had ChatGPT generate the formula of this drink. I don't think I like that. I get why they think it's a good idea, but it doesn't work on me. I get a little bit like repelled from it.
I'll tell you what's something that's quite concerning at the moment that I'm seeing on YouTube,
Oh.
but I also find it quite funny.
Uh-oh.
Is like AI generated videos. Like my personal favorite is like Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein in a UFC ring saying like, "Oh, I just calculated the vector displacement, and before he was about to punch me, and then I navigated away from it, and because E equals MC squared, I managed to use his mass against him and crap like that."
Have you
that's
seen
really funny.
AI generated music?
I haven't.
Dude, it's so good. It is so good. Like, I don't know. Imagine like Michael Bublé and Louis Armstrong together. You put that into a prompt, you give it 30 seconds, it comes out with this jazzy song with this deep radio host voice and a deep, what's his name? Louis Armstrong buzz. It's so good. You would never be able to tell that it's not a person.
Yeah.
And it's got style, it's got swing, it's got like a rhythm to it. It's really good.
That sounds really good.
It's really, really good.
Decent.
I do think there should be some kind of like moderation system which flags that this content has been produced by AI.
Yeah, that would be quite.
I'm 99% sure it's going to happen in the next year or two. Because the better AI gets, the more you can fake with it.
This kind of, the first time I heard of it was like, it started off with like deep fake.
Yeah.
Do you remember like you could potentially edit someone's face onto anything, and that was.
I've seen a clip of I don't remember which podcaster it was, but it was like same like me and you. They were talking in a room. It was a real clip, and then at some point, the person listening to what the guy was saying bends down below a table, takes out a bazooka, and shoots the guy in the face with it. Except it looks real. So my initial reaction is like, "Oh, he's taking something from below the table. What is it going to be? Oh my god, he's gonna." What? And then like seconds later it hits you, it's AI generated. But in the beginning, like now I'm always on the lookout that content is AI. Like now I'm thinking, is it real?
Yeah.
I didn't have that mindset when it just came out. In the beginning, I was like, how is it real? And only then like it gets
I just see like new AI videos of just like Stephen Hawking just on those like skateboarding ramps just doing like 360s on them. That's it.
Imagine if a civilization that had this kind of AI technology came to us literally 10 years ago, like not 1,000 years, 10 years ago, and said, look, we recorded on our phones and they can show us whatever they want and we'd believe it. And we'd believe that it's not AI generated. We believe it's actual recordings because it's that good. You can sell religion, you can sell aliens, you can sell cures to any disease. And now we have the technology. It's pretty cool.
What's your favorite thing that AI has brought in?
I'm basic. I like GPT. It helps me save so many hours. Yeah.
Especially with like writing code and that kind of thing.
I don't do a lot of code because the spa industry doesn't there's very little software in it. But we're running a Christmas campaign to sell some gift cards. And when you sell gift cards, there's a really cool rule where if you sell 100 gift cards, 20% of the gift cards will never be used.
Yeah.
Because, I'm sure somebody sometimes gives you, a weird store gift card.
Yeah.
And then you lose it, forget about it, it expires, anything.
That's why you should not put the date of Christmas, so you can use it again next year.
Well, but then there's often a policy where it's only valid for 1 year or only valid for 2 years since when you buy it. And the general rule is that about 20% of the gift cards you sell as a business will never be used. So you're literally getting free money. So what we do is we put a 20% discount on it. Because then it's a good deal for the customer and we actually sell more of them. Then it's a good deal for us because while the customers coming at a cheaper price, 20% of the customers won't come at all.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, where I was going with all this is I run it all by ChatGPT, and he finds little spelling mistakes and ways to rephrase certain things better, and it's good. You know what else I'm really looking forward to coming out?
What?
Have you heard of Atlas?
No.
Do you have a MacBook?
No.
So
well, yeah, I do, but I just don't use it anymore.
you should give it a try. I don't have a MacBook, so I'm yet waiting for it.
What is Atlas?
Atlas is a new browser, and it looks awesome. It's made by Sam Altman, the same guy that makes ChatGPT run, and it's basically ChatGPT integrated into a browser. The reason that's awesome is because whenever you're asking ChatGPT to look something up on Amazon, like give you a recommendation of the best washing machine on Amazon, it's finding it very difficult to access Amazon because if you're asking ChatGPT something, it functions as an agent, and therefore it very often gets pinged by Amazon. It doesn't have access to it. Most websites do that not to overcrowd their servers with bots, because that's still traffic. And so the amount of information that ChatGPT gets when it gives you these recommendations is somewhat limited, because it doesn't have access to everything. If it works as a browser, however, now it uses you as if you're making that search. It opens up a little window, and as long as you give it consent, it functions on your behalf, and it's the same as you visiting Amazon. So it's no longer a bot, so Amazon won't kick you out. And now that recommendation list becomes 10 times better, because instead of having to do like alternative product search and then seeing if that is listed on Amazon, it can actually go to Amazon and give you, the full breakdown.
I thought that, like when you first said it, I thought this kind of sounded quite similar to like AI overview. So like whenever you type something into Google, it gives you an initial like response.
Yeah.
From Copilot.
Yeah. Except now you can, like, let's say you look up, how can I create a pasta carbonara? Spaghetti carbonara. And it gives you the overview.
Yeah.
You can now select that on Atlas and be like, okay, this is like a long ass article, and you just ask the website, because it's so integrated with ChatGPT. Can you like look up exactly what recipes I need? What ingredients I need to cook this.
Yeah.
And instead of having, whenever you access a recipe, you need to scroll through the life story of how this recipe came from the grandmother. That generates the recipe for you. And then you can ask Atlas to log into your Uber account and order the ingredients you need and deliver it right to your home.
Pretty cool.
So I don't know. I'm really looking forward to this. Again, just instead of me having to go to Google, go to this AI overview, find the ingredients I need, then log on to Uber Eats, I just put it into one prompt and it does it all for me.
So it's like Copilot, but with more interaction, pretty much.
Copilot.
Well, ChatGPT with more interaction.
Pretty much. It's like ChatGPT, but now that it works as a browser rather than an agent, it has so much more capabilities, because you're basically giving it consent to do whatever you want, which is both a bad thing and a good thing. It's bad for data protection.
Fair enough. I was thinking like how, so ChatGPT, it takes everything that we put into it and it learns from it.
Yeah.
And all of that data is all available. Okay. Fair enough. So every day we're pretty much making it more and more smarter. So I guess it's a good thing.
It's funny you say that, because I was recently in chat with someone who works in AI, and they said that because artificial intelligence continues to consume the newly generated content, it actually
it's losing brain cells.
It's losing brain cells.
It's losing brain cells.
Do you know why?
Because we're losing brain cells.
Because of other AIs producing shit content. What is it called? Brain slat? Like there's a term for it.
Brain rotting.
There's another one, but basically all those AI generated videos which are so dumb.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's the one I've seen is for some reason AI likes to make videos, like not AI, but people using AI, like to make videos of autistic people doing something funny. It's like a huge category of AI generated content.
This is weird.
It's a little weird, right? I don't know why it's happening. We should look it up.
Yeah.
And basically, ChatGPT doesn't really understand the concept of this humor and is just, like you said, losing brain cells.
Yeah, it might currently think that Albert Einstein is still alive and he's a world champion in UFC.
Yeah, exactly, or something like that. Like it's messing
That'd
with
be
it
pretty
negatively.
funny though.
Oh
That'd be
gosh,
really funny.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to any technological advances in engineering or something that you're excited that is coming out?
I'd say if we're able, so one thing when it comes to like engineering is that we have a set of codes or like manuals, let's say, and there's many manuals, and pretty much it's a document that the whole industry that's used industry wide. And it's pretty much a set of rules that if you obey them, if something goes wrong, you can refer back to it and say, well, okay, I based my assumptions on this, and therefore if this is accepted, we're all good.
So it's like a responsibility thing, right?
It's more of a case of like it'll protect you if something goes wrong, because you can prove like, okay, I use this is done industry wide.
It's not my fault the bridge collapsed because I followed the industry standards.
Yeah, you just know that this wasn't the problem.
Yeah.
But there's quite a lot of these manuals, especially for different parts. So for example, let's take a building, for example. You've got your main frames, you've got all the mechanical works, you've got the foundations, and you've got the fire safety and fire engineering. Each one of these things, they have like a separate manual. It's actually quite funny that the manual in the manual for fire engineering is called BS 9999. 999.
Why BS 999?
I don't know, but I thought it was like like 999 is like an emergency or.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. BS 999.
Yeah, I thought that was quite interesting.
That's nice little.
But yeah, it's just that there's a lot of manuals, and each time like you look at a point, it can refer to like another document that you have to go and get, and that'll refer you to another document and another document.
Oh really?
Yeah,
it's like an endless Wikipedia
kind
deep
of
dive.
Yeah. So I think if AI is able to make this like really easy to like access, that'll be quite nice. So I'm just not having to look through the archives all the time.
Yeah,
and find the document that I need. I can just hover over or like select a specific document that it's referring to, and it'll just pop it up instantly, or just pop up the paragraph instantly. That'll be quite nice. Just streamline everything as far as I like it.
Yeah, and it should probably come out in the next 5 years or so, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Will save you a lot of time. Therefore, the company will save on hours.
Yep. Because at the end of the day, like engineers are consultants, and consultants are paid by the hour.
Yeah.
And yeah, just saving time, saving clients money.
Are you ever thinking of continuing your career down here in London?
I'm kind of happy where I am. I love Scotland, and I mean, who knows? Life changes all the time. But at the moment, I'm happy where I am.
I should visit you up in Scotland. You've got such beautiful hikes there.
Yeah.
I really want to go on a walk with you, take our partners, and drive out to the Highlands. It's been on the to-do list for way too long. That'd be beautiful.
Erin showed me, she showed me this car sharing app called Co-Wheels, and you can pretty much rent out a car, without the hassle of like having to. It's pretty much an easier way of renting out a car.
Yeah.
Pretty much, you have a membership and you pay like £1 or £2 a month, and then you can rent a car out for like a whole day for like £50 or something like that. It's really good.
Do you wanna my theory on why they make like a bunch of memberships that are like £1 or £2 a month with everything now?
Why?
I may be wrong, but from a business point of view, obviously they're not generating revenue by getting customers to pay £1 or £2 a month.
They generate it through the actual like use of the car.
I think they generate data on whether you're still interested in their platform or not. Like, as long as you keep that 50 cent subscription going, they still have you as a potential customer.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment that you cancel, it means you have that in that moment decided that you're no longer interested in their membership. So this is where they will bombard you with phone calls and emails and try to get you back on board.
Mm.
And that is a great tool for them to try to reduce the amount of clients they lose.
Mm.
Like, for example, in the spa industry, what happens, you have a client that visits you like on a weekly basis, and then they haven't visited you for 1 week, they haven't visited you for 2 weeks, and by the third week, you're like, okay, they're either on holiday or we lost them as a client. And then 6 weeks later, you are definitely convinced that they're no longer your client. And then 6 weeks later, you chase back and you're like, hey, you haven't visited us for 6 weeks. What happened? And they tell you that, oh, I actually didn't like my last treatment. Now I have found a new spa, so I'm no longer your client. Have you had a subscription and they unsubscribed from you after that treatment? You give them a call, they tell you they had a bad treatment, you offer them a complimentary treatment, you ask them what was wrong, you promise them a better experience next time, you try to get them to come back, and maybe you keep them. But now they've already figured out an alternative and they have no interest in coming back because, first of all, 6 weeks have passed. Second of all, you haven't addressed the issue.
Also, like, let's just use the spa as an example.
Yeah.
Because the amount that they're losing in money, like per month, is so low.
Yeah.
They might not even notice it leaving, but you're still getting paid.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, like in terms of like co-wheels, let's say.
Yeah.
You're not using a car every day, but let's just say that you're still paying, let's say, 2 cents a day.
Yeah.
To subscribe to their membership, something along the lines of that.
I think it's not bad. I don't think they like. How much is it for you to rent a car once, like for a day?
Let's say £50.
£50.
£50 for the whole day, and then plus a £2 membership fee. So
I guess that means in a year they're making less in memberships than they do in a day of renting. So
yeah.
I don't think they're doing it for revenue generation, unless that added like 2% makes a difference to them in revenue. Maybe.
I mean, what is it? You know, for example, have you ever heard of Costco?
Yeah.
Costco's a shop that pretty much you get
break
a membership.
even prices pretty much.
Yeah, they pretty much get you. It's it's pretty much, imagine just, I don't know, for anyone who doesn't know, Costco is just this massive shopping center that usually what they do is people would buy from them in bulk.
Yeah.
And then they'd be able to abuse economies of scale and get
Yeah.
like a discount for it. But then they thought that, okay, well, how about we just sell directly to people?
Yeah.
And we can sell it to them at a discounted rate, because pretty much what we'd be selling is, what's it called? Still using economies of scale.
Yeah.
They generate most of their profit from memberships.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How does the membership work?
So pretty much you pay £30 and you get
Like a month or
a year.
a year?
£30 a year.
Wow.
And
That's not that
pretty
much.
that's not much. But like, what is it? 365 divided by 30. Sorry, no. 30 divided by 365.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what, 10p a day? Something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just under 10p a day. But that's still generating them the highest. That's still what makes them the highest profit. It
reminds me of the concept of some restaurants recently have come up that are offering a really high, a really cheap high-end product. For example, black caviar at market price. Like not market price, like when you buy market price lobster, at like a break-even cost.
Yeah.
Or all alcohol is incredibly, incredibly cheap.
Yeah.
And the business concept is that you have the upper hand on your competitors, like with Costco. They have the cheapest products that you can buy in bulk, but you generate money from something else. For example, that black caviar restaurant, you can get like usually, I don't know, a 50-gram box of black caviar would be like £100. With them, it's like 25. Pretty good deal. But that's how they get you to come to the restaurant, and then they make profit on drinks and food and everything else. It's a pretty cool concept where instead of going down a traditional route, you come up with the what was the name of the you said you and your friend came up with a really fun name for a company if you were to launch one.
Oh, so like, so if we were to open up a jewelry store,
Yeah,
you'd call it
Magpie.
Magpie's Nest,
Yeah.
because
Oh,
they always like steal like very shiny things and put them into their nest.
yeah. No, I was going somewhere else with it, but essentially, I think it's pretty cool
Or
to come up.
breadwinners.
Yeah, I think it was that.
Yeah.
A cool way of finding an alternative approach
Yeah.
to generating income rather
Yeah.
than just making a markup.
And I'm now just thinking about like the co-wheels, right? If the membership is £2
Yeah.
per month, 2 times 12, that's 24. So that's there or thereabouts to like the Costco.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And if Costco is still, and if Costco's like memberships are the ones that are, it is the fact that what's generating them this like high profit, that might probably be a similar thing through
I'm still
co-wheels.
convinced that this is some kind of a psychological marketing idea to get you
'cause
to
it's
spend
so
more.
low. It's so low per month that you're like, £2.
Exactly.
Don't worry about it.
Unless they have crazy numbers of people, I just don't see them generating actual profit from it. But maybe I'm wrong. There are a lot of cool tricks that like how to get a customer to stay loyal to you. And I think like if you have a membership with one company, you kind of feel like you're obligated to take advantage and to shop with them. For example, Pret a Manger, it's the coffee shop chain here in the UK.
Yeah.
They had a really strange but a pretty cool concept where they also have a subscription
Right.
that gives you up to 4 cups of coffee a day free of charge as long as you have that subscription going. And you can go to any of the coffee stores and get a free drink or a free coffee. And I think that is pretty difficult to compete with because like if you have a Costa Coffee and Starbucks and a Pret a Manger right next to each other, the other two have zero competitive advantage because in one you can get a free coffee and the other two you have to pay.
I think it's, I just don't understand why people would just go and buy coffee from these conglomerates.
I think it's convenience. I think they always got like Wi-Fi and bathrooms and they make you the coffee consistently.
I guess so, but like if you think about it from a financial perspective, like let's say a coffee nowadays, like an Americano is like £3.
Yeah.
Okay. But what you could do, another route that you can take is you can buy an AeroPress for £30. Okay, that's 10 coffees.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is a one-time investment. That's fine. This will last you a few years. It's fine. And then you can buy a bag of coffee beans for £4 or £5, which will give you 30 coffees.
I guess, but I think you can say that about most things. Like if you go to a bar and you order a beer,
Yeah.
you also are overpaying 5 times the regular price of beer that you can get from like your local supermarket.
No.
I think the idea is that in a bar you're not paying for the beer, you're paying for, being able to have a space to hang out with.
Yeah, I guess so. But like, for example, you're not necessarily going to drink alcohol at work. You will drink coffee at work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so what I'm thinking is that, what was I thinking?
Yeah. The coffee. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, with the coffee, it's kind of different because you're literally going downstairs, spending £3.75, coming back and getting back to work. So it's a small break. When you're at a bar, you're probably going to be there all night. You're there to clock off.
Yeah.
But when it comes to coffee, it just staggers me that someone would pay $3.75 for a cup of lukewarm coffee when you can make yourself a beautiful Americano just by yourself at 1/30th of the price. At 1/10th the price.
Back to my business, we actually work on a similar psychology when we give free things to customers, because a glass of Prosecco costs £12 to £13 in London. But the actual price of Prosecco that we have as a business, like if we buy a bottle and separate it into 6 glasses, is about £2. So we give a free glass of Prosecco to our clients, and their perception is that they got something that is valued at £12. And they're very happy. And we're very happy because we just gave them something that they perceive has high value, but actually costs us very, very, very little.
Sorry, can you repeat that? So you're saying that the Prosecco is £12?
Well, if you go to a restaurant and you order a glass of Prosecco, in London, like an average price would be about £12 because London has very high prices. But for like if you just buy a bottle for 12, like an actual bottle costs like 12 to £15, and you separate it between, like you empty it into a bunch of glasses.
Yeah.
It's going to be about 6 glasses.
Yeah.
So that means per glass, the business cost is only £2. So we spent £2 giving a gift to the client, but the client doesn't perceive it as a £2 gift. They perceive it as a £12 gift because that's what it would cost them if they were to go
and buy a bottle. Yeah.
No. They're not going to buy it because we're not giving them a bottle. We're giving them a glass.
Yeah, but in order to have the same experience, they'd have to spend £12.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see.
Because if they go opposite to a restaurant or to like a high-end bar, that's what they would have to spend. And it's a pretty cool little marketing trick where it costs us so little, like £2 for something that the client perceives as a £12 gift. It's a good deal.
Interesting.
And I think like where I'm going with this is, I think this lines up with the whole coffee conversation too.
I remember when we were in Paris at the Eiffel Tower, we were just sitting down, and you wanted some Prosecco or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And like there were guys walking around with buckets of it and just like selling, and then you started negotiating with them a price.
Did I?
And you know what's the funniest part? Like,
was I good? I don't remember that part. How much Prosecco did I have afterwards?
What I remember was you tried to negotiate the price down, and then like the guy thought that he was trying to sell you the bottle, and you're like, no, I just want a glass.
Oh. Oh no.
Like, what are you doing?
Uh-oh. Oh, I don't remember that. Oh, that's pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
I'm looking forward to more trips with you. Anyway, man, it's been such a pleasure having you on the podcast. Thank you for coming and for recording the first episode together. It is it's very exciting. 1st of November.
Beautiful time.
First day of autumn is definitely here.
Yeah. In Glasgow, I feel like we've just completely skipped autumn, so gone straight from summer to winter.
Ah, it's brutal. Winter's coming.
Yeah. Winter is here.
Winter's here. Yeah, I had that happen to me once. I went like on a 2-week trip outside of London when it was still sunny, and then I came back and like the leaves already fell, and it was already like the wind wasn't like autumn wind. It was cold winter wind, and very quickly skipped to winter. So right now you've hit the sweet spot with visiting London.
It's sunny outside, so let's go make the most of it.
Let's do it.
Max,
thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. And
anything you want to say at the end? Do you have a course to sell, or shall people find you and give you a follow?
Visit 7 Barley Spa.
Oh, the promotion. Oh man. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, man. Have a wonderful day.
Bye everyone. Bye.